Hello guys, welcome back, or welcome if this is your first time to the channel. This is Divine Truth Tarot. I'm Sarah and I'll be your intuitive guide and your reader for today. Have a look around if you're new. I know that it's been a while and January has been a very sparse month for myself personally for posting videos. So I thank you if you're still here. I thank you for your patience. I thank you for your understanding and your generosity in supporting the channel. For those of you who are unaware, who haven't yet gone over to Patreon, please do take a look. I will post a link in the description box below. We have 5 tiers now, starting at just $5, going up to $100 a month. This is by no means expected, but it is absolutely supporting the channel. And because there's so much uncertainty around a lot of these social media platforms like YouTube, we just don't know what's going to happen. This is basically my safe haven. Patreon has become my safe haven. And also, depending on the levels that you choose, I have videos that I will be posting specifically for Patreon viewers. So bonus videos, bonus content, early access content, Q&A and lives, and all sorts of different bonuses. It really depends on the level that you choose, but we're going to be engaging a lot more there. January has been a heavy month for the world, okay, and for light workers and twin flames and star seeds alike. So February I see taking off, becoming more active. We're going to be becoming more active and getting back to, like, January has been about integrating and balancing, and February I see us moving a lot more, but moving in a way that's more balanced, in a way that's more integrated, breathing deeper, laughing more, loving more. And I see February being a freeing month in many ways and lots of revelations coming to the surface. So guys, if you're interested in coming over to Patreon, I do talk a lot about deeper things, bigger things of what's going on in the world. I can talk more freely, and I'll be talking more and more on there and posting more and more content, especially as we ramp up to February. So my second announcement is, oh, and I just dropped a new video for Patreon subscribers. So if you're the second, third, or second tier or above, I have bonus content, bonus video that I've just posted. So if you want to check out the bonus content, you want to find out what's going on with your divine connections, then head on over to Patreon, check it out. And what else did I want to say? Because it's been so long. Private readings. Those of you who have booked private readings for January, I will have them to you before the end of January, before or on January 31st. The way that it works with myself with private readings is I don't promise a certain day that they'll be delivered, because there's just so many things that are circulating, so many energies. So what I do is I will promise it to you in that month, and you will get it when divine timing calls and when it's in divine alignment with your soul and with my soul. If you would like a private reading, I am going to start booking out for private readings in February, so please reach out to me. The email is listed in the description box below. Let's get started on this reading, guys. Thank you for joining me in that long intro. It's been a while, so I had a few things that I wanted to catch you guys up on. And I've got a couple decks here for us to explore in this reading. One of the things that I wanted to point out is, because I've been feeling this bubbling up in the collective a lot, guys, I wanted to point out that if your twin is still running, okay, in particular if your twin is still running, or if you're in some sort of separation, even if it's not full separation, what I wanted to say is that this journey, as we know, but it's always good to have reminders, right? Because the ego will get in the way. This journey is about you coming home to yourself. It's about you breaking down the barriers within you, you facing your inner pain, your inner demons, your inner trauma, and knowing that it has to go, and knowing that you want to find that place of peace, that place of balance, knowing that you want to be free of the fear, free of the past, free of the trauma, because your soul, for a lot of light workers and twin flames and star seeds, our soul sort of sits above our body because the body doesn't feel comfortable or hasn't felt comfortable in quite some time. We've been through a lot. Most twin flames and light workers and star seeds incarnated in a lifetime where there was a lot of trauma, or at least a significant amount of trauma, some type of trauma. And so this journey is about you accepting yourself. So when we see our counterpart physically rejecting us, okay, and if we look at that from a 3D perspective, they're rejecting us, they're abandoning us, it's pointing the finger and it's blaming and shaming, which takes the focus off of you. And it also takes you more and more out of your body. And it's like it's sort of like what's going on in the world right now with the divisiveness. And we're all guilty of being divisive or taking sides or being passionate about what we believe in, myself included. And it's a lesson in ego, and it's a lesson in learning to tame the ego, learning that you can believe in what you believe in, but realizing that you don't want to contribute to the dichotomy or the divisiveness or division of the world. So taking a step back, and instead of battling ego to ego, allow it to be your soul. So allow your soul to drop into your body a little bit more today. Allow yourself to take a deeper breath today and realize that, oh, look at all that space I have in my body. My diaphragm is working beautifully. My lungs are filling up beautifully with fresh oxygen. I'm releasing the carbon dioxide. I'm releasing the toxins out of my body with each breath. And understanding that it's never about your twin abandoning you. I can assure you this with 100% certainty. Your twin has never and will never abandon you because they are you. You share a soul. And if you don't believe that, if you don't believe that you share a soul, that's okay. You share a chakra system. You could look at it that way. So any inner resistance that you feel to facing yourself, to coming face to face with your own fears, your twin is going to reflect that beautifully and perfectly in the external. And it's going to feel like a void. It's going to feel like a void in the external when your twin isn't present. But you have to reach within, guys, and you will find your twin. You have to reach within. You have to allow yourself to get quiet, allow yourself to go to those places where everything is still. And that's where you will find your twin. That's where you will find your divine love, your divine counterpart. And you realize that the recognition is really within oneself. And you realize that they're never actually absent. Now, that does not take away from the pain that separation can cause. But what we have to remember, it comes back to realizing that separation is an illusion, just like time is an illusion. Okay, space is an illusion. So knowing that time is an illusion, knowing that separation is an illusion, does your counterpart, did they ever actually abandon you? Or perhaps was it that you were abandoning yourself in some way? So these are the questions. I know this is deep for a Saturday morning, but these are the questions I want you guys to begin asking yourselves, okay? It's going to feel like your heart is breaking on this journey. It's going to feel extremely painful, extremely lonely at times. And it's going to feel like you're misunderstood and you can't speak your truth because you know that you have to protect your union just as your counterpart is. And you can't tell everyone that you're a twin flame. You can't tell everyone your situation because it sounds crazy to the external world. This is about you accepting yourself, okay? All the parts of yourself. And when you can do that, when you understand that you are the light of the world, this is when you win your own twin flame, that inner battle, the overpowering the ego, dropping your soul into your body deeper, forgiving yourself, letting go of guilt, letting go of shame. Shame is a big one. Letting go of fear, self-doubt, blame, anger. And it's not that we're not allowed to feel those things. Okay, it's not that we're not allowed. It's not that they're bad. It's all okay. It's not good or bad. It's all okay. It's that we can feel them and release them and move through them. We don't want to get stuck in those feelings. And when we get stuck in those feelings, for a lot of us, you show signs of physical dis-ease, right? Like for me, guys, I've shared this with you. I've experienced eczema over the past 5 years, and it's related to anger, okay? It's related to feeling angry, feeling like I couldn't speak my truth, feeling like I was being judged. And so I'm working through that. I'm working with an exceptional healer myself. And I strongly believe that healers need healers. We cannot do this ourselves. We need each other. We need that support. So if you're having those symptoms of dis-ease, seek support, okay? And if you're a healer, maybe there's a possibility of course, there's the possibility of healing yourself, but sometimes we need that extra push or nudge from an external person, okay? Just reminders, because we might have blind spots or blocks within ourselves, okay? So letting go of those negative feelings, feeling them, it's not repressing them. It's not saying that they're good or bad. It's not about that. What it is about, my friends, is accepting yourself, forgiving yourself, realizing you've had many lifetimes, and even in this lifetime, you've experienced a lot of pain, a lot of grief, a lot of loss, a lot of heartbreak, twins, a lot of heartbreak on this journey alone. But even prior to meeting your twin, there would have been a lot of heartbreak, unless you met your twin very young. And even so, you could have had heartbreak within your own family dynamic. So I want to send out so much love to you guys today, and let's go ahead. I know I said we were going to get started, but lots to talk about, lots to share. So if you're still here, let's get going on the actual card portion of the reading. So we've got 3 cards here. We've got the King of Michael. Let me remind myself, I haven't worked with these cards for a while. 4 of Michael. That would be 4 of, I believe this is Swords energy. King of Swords. Swords energy. Okay, so King of Swords, 4 of Swords. And then 3, I believe this is Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles. Let me just verify that. I'm a little rusty with this deck because it's been a while since I've actually used it. So let me just validate and verify. But I'm pretty positive that Michael is representing the swords. Well, let's see. Yes, this is about our minds. And it's interesting because the minds talk about fear. It talks about anxiety, right? It talks about getting stuck in that place of it's not deep introspection. The swords represent anxiety. The swords represent the tendency to fall into that place of fear, right? It's like getting stuck in your mind. It's like head over heart instead of heart over head. So this energy, of course, is a masculine energy, representing the masculine energy, both within you and without. It's a very stoic energy. So I'm feeling like a lot of us right now, we've been working through a lot of mother wounds and father wounds, but most recently mother wounds. Father wounds more in November, December, even back to October. Mother wounds really coming to the surface, really brimming to the surface in January. So we have this King of Swords energy, and it's all about being analytical. It's all about analyzing. It's kind of like analysis paralysis energy if you get too deep into it. But it also speaks of, respecting, I know what I know, right? I know what I know. This is about wisdom. This is about being objective. So I feel like what this is saying is the energy from this card is saying we're all sort of being asked as light workers, as way showers, to come into this energy of balance, of mental balance. Because if we're in this dichotomy energy, or we're out there engaging in social media, and we're out there like, yeah, that's wrong, I'm right, or we get all impassioned. We're separating ourselves, from ourselves. We're separating ourselves from source and from oneness, and we're taking ourselves, in essence, out of our bodies, Our soul, comes out of the body because the body's no longer safe. The body's like a battlefield, a war field. So, and this is speaking about really staying in, this place of integrity. And it does talk about having an open and honest conversation. And what's interesting, though, is Michael is crossing his arms in this picture. And I feel like that could be a sense of being closed off or being worried about opening your heart again to somebody or something. And of course, because this is a divine counterpart reading, I would say that this could be the fear of opening yourself up to your counterpart again. But it could be very many other things. The fear of opening yourself up to your family or your friends and being your true, authentic self, because more and more it's getting harder and harder to hide who we are and what we're here for. Our missions are calling us. Not everyone will answer the call. But in this particular situation, you're being asked, yes, to answer the call. So what does that feel like when I answer the call? Can I release my arms from my chest? Can I trust that it's safe to not only, if you notice here, guys, he's not only, if he were to uncross his arms, he would open up the front of his chest, and look, the back of his heart is also open. Because when you have those wings, when you've sprouted those wings, it means that you've opened up. It's easier almost to open up the front of your body. I find it's more challenging to open up the back of the body, the back of the heart, if you're speaking in terms of the heart chakra. Why? Because this is our blind spot. We can see what's in front of us. We can't see what's behind us. And it's also attached to the past. So any pain or trauma from the past. So when we sprout those wings, we're giving ourselves permission to fly, but we also have to open up our heart. We have to lift our hearts up to heaven, into the sky. So we have to be able to do both to really create that openness and to really have that open and honest conversation. I actually want to get some clarity on that, because I'm feeling like this is saying, and you guys know that I don't make promises about timing. I don't make promises. I don't do twin flame checks. So I'm a little different than a lot of readers out there, because I believe that we need to discern for ourselves. And I teach my clients to empower themselves, empower their own inner knowing and intuition. And that's my job when I'm doing a reading for you guys. It's not at all for me to tell you what is going to happen. And sometimes the readings may seem vague. Okay, I've had those readings myself, but those are the readings that are actually giving you more than you could ever have asked for, because they're asking you to search deep inside of your own soul for the answers. So they're giving you sort of a blueprint, but then you have to really go deep within to get the answers. Okay, so understand that if you've gotten a private reading from me and you're like, oh, that seems a little vague, there's a reason for that. There's a reason that some are going to be really detailed if you're ready for that, or if you're at that stage of your journey, and others might seem more vague on the surface, but if you look deep within, it's calling you to your own soul. Okay, it's saying, I know that you have this power within you, this inner authority, this inner GPS, this inner judgment, to be able to discern what's best for you. So I'm going to give you a blueprint, and that's what Spirit will give me in that reading. And then they're trusting that you're going to fill in the blanks. Okay. So to clarify the King of Swords here, the King of Michael, we have the Moon, which of course speaks of illusions. Okay. And I believe we have a full moon coming up on the 24th. I want to say is it in Leo? I feel like it's in the sign of Leo. You know what, guys? I'm going to check on that. Pardon my hands here, because I do want to check on that. Full moon. Let's see. Yes, it is a Leo. Beautiful. So what do we know about Leo? We know it's a fire sign. We know that it is... Leo sits in the 5th house of children, of accomplishments, of attention, of the spotlight. But it's also, think of the sun. Okay, Leo's ruled by the sun. So the warmth of the sun, the radiance of the sun. Leo loves attention. So there could be some ego bruising around this full moon, guys, okay? And it could also bring up a lot of illusions. So what I'm feeling, let's put this aside for a minute. What I'm feeling for some of you is, if you're expecting communication, or you just got back into communication, this won't be necessarily for those of you who have been in communication for a while, but for those of you who are just getting back into communication, or you may actually randomly hear from your counterpart, because we also have a Mercury retrograde coming up at the end of the month. I think it's on the 28th. I could be wrong. But if we're not in the shadow period, we're about to go into the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. So communication, right? It's like technology, communication, travel, all those things can be affected with a Mercury retrograde. But it also can signify people coming back from the past, or things coming back up, burping back up, in essence, to the surface, rippling back up for you to observe them, for you to... think differently about them. Okay, so sort of a change of perspective, and for you to maybe come up with a different solution or resolution. So for those of you in communication, or just coming back into communication, or expecting it, or you feel like it's going to come, it could very well come through with this full moon, on or around the full moon on the 24th. However, there could be some illusions surrounding this. So it's interesting. We have the contrast of open and honest communication, but then you have his arms across his chest. So I feel like the masculines may come forward and they want to speak truth, but at the same time, they might be a little either blunt, or they might be withholding, and it might feel a little cold still, or like they are protecting themselves. And guys, it's out of fear. Okay. Is he or she going to reject me? Okay. You know, like they want to reach out, but they may also still feel that fear surrounding that, because they don't know how you're going to respond, especially if it's been a while since you've actually been in touch in the 3D. But they're feeling you in the 5D, which is going to push them in really to make this move in the 3D. So I do see a lot of people coming back into communication of some sort, but there could be some illusions surrounding that. So be mindful, because egos could also flare up. So you could step into your ego and be like, well, I'm not going to answer the call because it's been 6 months and I haven't heard from them, and I'm just going to be an asshole right back. that is going to get you into a battle of the egos, and that is going to take you out of your soul out of your body, and that is going to put you into duality. And when you're in duality, you think your twin is separate from you. You see, you've got the black wolf, the white wolf. You think your twin is separate from you, but you're actually one and the same. So be mindful of that, guys, around the full moon, especially if your twin reaches out. If it's not the communication that you expect, see if you can be gracious and grateful, compassionate and understanding anyways, and realize that your twin is struggled to reach out. Your twin is struggling. They've been in fear. They've wanted to reach out. They've been in fear, and they're protecting themselves. So with the Knight of Pentacles, I feel like this is more a clarifier for actually the Three of Pentacles here. So prosperity arising from wise planning, time to take the next step, optimistic plans that turn out as expected. I would say better than expected. That looks pretty, I mean, this looks like a pretty joyous event or celebration. There's a lot of abundance that I feel coming through this card, a lot of abundance, and also travel. So this is signifying travel for some of you. With the Knight of Pentacles, I mean, he's literally raining pentacles. He's pouring out pentacles. It's like they're rolling off of his feet, rolling off of his back here. He's not struggling abundantly. Okay, he's got abundance under control. This is a person who is really going after their dreams and is trusting that their manifestation is going to turn out either as good or better than expected. Okay, so, but this has been a planning. This has been something that's taken place months or years of planning and planning and planning. For some of you, this is going to be a career jumpstart. This is going to be starting your own business or making, it's not even those baby steps because you've been taking those baby steps towards your dreams and actualizing your dreams. It's going to be a giant leap forward, and it's going to actually produce a lot of abundance. It's going to produce a lot of abundance. I hear effortlessly because you've already laid the blueprint down, okay? So what I like about the Knight of Pentacles is I like the confidence that I feel coming through in this card. And I feel like the confidence is coming from this Four of Swords energy, this resting energy, this hibernation energy. I love this card because to me it just feels like it's like a cocoon energy. These are cocoons. And this abundance is coming from a place where you have really kind of stowed yourself away for, maybe all of 2020 and part of 2021 here. And you've rested, you've rejuvenated, okay? And you tried to really minimize the levels of stress in your life. And from that place, you're creating abundance. You're creating the life of your dreams. Whether or not you can see it playing out right now doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you can see it playing out right now because it's happening either way. So remember that because we've walked into the age of Aquarius and we've entered that timeline, things aren't what they seem. So what it looks like on the surface may not at all be the truth of what's actually going on. We have to remember that what we feel is going to be more and more significant as we move forward in consciousness than what we see. What we feel versus what we see. Heart over head, not head over heart. So Spirit, tell me a little bit about the feminine energy right now. Tell me a little bit about the feminine energy. The High Priestess. So feminines, your third eye has been ignited recently. So it's not that you weren't intuitive, okay, or you weren't gifted before, but it's been brought to another level. You've received powerful downloads and information about your journey, about your mission, about your next steps. And that's why I think we have the Three of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles here. It's the journey about the next steps. It's saying, okay, this is what needs to happen next. And you're knowing these things without seeing any physical proof of them. Again, we see reflection and meditation really validating that Four of Swords energy there. This is about being at peace with who you are and what you are without questioning your gifts, because a lot of us have questioned our gifts, or we've had people question our gifts. So when somebody comes in and questions your intuition, or people have made fun of us, and not just in this lifetime, but in many, many lifetimes, you tend to dumb yourself down, you dim your light, you make yourself small. We're being asked to spread those wings, right? Spread those wings, open up our hearts, uncross the arms from the chest, and really, really grow from the heart. It's like getting out of the mind, guys. I really see us, just humanity in general, the collective, getting out of the mind, getting more into the heart. As more and more things are revealed here and come to the surface, okay, in 2021. And this isn't just in the US, okay, where I live. This is globally. This is happening globally on a global scale. We are realizing who our leaders truly are. We are realizing that we have been misled. We are realizing that we have to discern. Now more than ever, go into your own heart, go into your own, not your mind. Your mind will play tricks on you. Your mind is connected to your ego, but you go into your heart space, and that's where you're going to find your truth. That's where you will find the truth. Okay, so lots of Michael energy here. Wow. 2 of Swords and 9 of Swords. So there is a little bit of worry, anxiety, concern, of course, that's coming up in the collective. I'm not at all surprised to see that. A little bit of overthinking. Okay, it's like overthinking the situation. Should I go left? Should I go right? Do I go forwards, backwards? Is this side, that side? You know, it's like some of you feel like you're going round and around and around in circles about making a decision. It's a life decision is what I'm hearing. And it's actually causing you unnecessary stress, insomnia, sleepless nights, anxiety. Many of you are also, I'm getting like burping energy. So many of you are experiencing burping energy or some sort of like gassy energy or bloating in the belly and those lower chakras. It's like not trusting your path, not trusting your inner compass and inner GPS, that solar plexus. But it also is, you know, it's the 3 chakras. It's the solar plexus, it's the sacral, and it's also the root chakra. Grounding yourself. Make sure you're grounding yourself every day. And don't force a decision. Rather than forcing a decision, invite a decision and see how that works for you, because I think a lot of divine feminines have a lot of masculine energy, especially when you go into separation. You're like, well, I have to take care of myself. I have to do everything alone. I'm independent. I've got this. And we've been trained by society to be so independent that we actually can end up harming or hurting ourselves. Not physically necessarily, although that can turn into dis-ease, but we put ourselves under a tremendous amount of stress thinking we have to do everything alone. And what I'm hearing here with 5 of Ariel, so 5 of Ariel is the 5 of Wands. Let me take a look. It's been so long since I've looked at this. It's not the Cups. I think it's Wands energy. Yeah, this is the Wands energy. So 5 of Wands. So it's interesting because this is saying that you don't have to do it alone. Okay. It's like the feminine has felt like she's had to do life alone. I have to do life alone. Where is my counterpart? Where, you know, what about my parents, my friends? Everyone's deserted me. I have to do everything alone. And it's put a tremendous amount of stress on you. It's actually caused you to close off your heart in many ways. And so many of you are now picking up on that energy of like, you thought you were open to love, or you thought you were open to this divine connection, but you may start realizing, have these sort of epiphanies that you've actually had your heart closed off for a long, long time. So ask yourself with this 5 of Wands, what do you feel like is missing from your life? Because the 5 of Wands is my left out in the cold card. So it's like, where do you feel like you've left yourself out in the cold? Emotionally or physically, perhaps, maybe, you know, abundantly, or your parents, maybe some of you were kicked out of the house as soon as you turned 18, or maybe you even became a sovereign being before the age of 18. Some of you may have grown up in foster homes or been bounced around. I'm seeing like a ping pong ball being bounced around. So, you know, this is about loving that inner child and refocusing your thoughts on the limitless possibilities that exist, and realizing that while it may seem like you've had some unlucky situations in your life or events or circumstances, that you can always turn that around, and that you can always ask for help from your guides, from the angels, from God, from heaven, from the universe, whomever it is that you subscribe to. So understand that this could also be like a dark night of the soul for some of you, where you feel like you're apart from God. I'm also feeling that. So I send you guys a lot of love if you're in that energy. Know and, you know, surround yourself with the light of God and the light of the universe, and understand that your guides are always close by, but they do need us to ask for help. So ask them for help. Ask your higher self. Ask the archangels for help. The ascended masters, ask them to come down. Mother Mary, Jesus, and ask for them to wrap you in their wings or arms of love and comfort, okay? And you will feel immediately, you will feel their presence. The Nine of Swords. And this is about unnecessary worry, nightmares, insomnia, anxiety. This is about releasing those lower level negative emotions. And again, it's not about sidestepping them. It's not about spiritually bypassing them. Rather, it is about accepting them, but you don't want to dwell in those energies. So you accept them and then you release them. Okay, so you accept them and then you release them. Accept and release, accept and release. No need to tell yourself a story about that emotion, because it's likely from a very long time ago. Let's not tell stories about those emotions. Let's not tell 10 different people the story of how somebody did us wrong 20 years ago, because you recreate the story. And we also, our mind is so spectacular that we will insert things in there that may be parts of our imagination or coming from the ego that didn't actually happen, making it worse than it actually was. Or sometimes we do the opposite. We make it better than it actually was. But the point is we don't need to relive those situations to heal from them. Somebody else may tell you something different or may subscribe to a different belief, but I don't believe we have to relive them in order to heal them. Acknowledgement, yes, acknowledging. We don't want to push away our anger. We don't want to push away our shame or our fears or our sadness. We don't push them away. We sit with them, we accept them, and we say, it's all okay. You're okay. I'm okay. It's okay that I feel this way, but I don't want to live in this energy. Masculine energy, Gaia, beautiful. Masculine energy, beautiful. Thank you, masculines. So right now the masculines are very 3D based again. You know how we sort of flipped a little bit and the feminines were working in the 3D? Both counterparts are now working in the 3D. So this is beautiful. And this is why I feel like there might be some actual movement in the physical for many of you. Gaia, Mother Gaia, Earth. Okay, Mother Earth, harmony, abundance, wholeness, forgiveness. The masculines are working very deeply right now, integrating the past, integrating any wounds, any wounding that they might have had. And the masculines are also realizing that they play a very significant part in the ascension of humanity. Okay, they're realizing, wait a minute, I'm more important than I ever gave myself credit for. And that's really big for the masculines, because I remember telling my masculine something like, you're special, and I forget exactly how I phrased it. And he was like, what? Why? Me? Like, they didn't believe it. They didn't believe in themselves. They knew they had powers, okay? They knew they had powers, but they suppressed them or they repressed them. So when you think about the masculines repressing or suppressing their gifts, repression or suppression creates stifling energy, stagnation, makes it difficult to breathe deeply, makes it difficult to feel your emotions, makes you angry, makes you fearful, makes you you don't trust yourself, so how can you trust anybody else? So the masculines are now really rooted in earth, but from a more spiritual vantage point, and they're really tapping into this unconditional love and support. They're feeling more supported. They're feeling more grounded. They're feeling more joy and more at ease with being on this journey. And they're realizing that they're not separate from the world. They're not separate from you. They're not separate from love. Okay, I feel like the masculines for a long time felt like they were separate from love, that they didn't deserve love. What a sad, sad place to be. And feminines, you might recall feeling that same way as well in the past. Okay, so you can understand what that feels like. I've been there as well, you might say. And yes, you have. Now the masculines are going through it. You might have transmuted for them, but when you transmute, you've already been through it. So that means it doesn't take as long to pull yourself out on the other side. But a lot of what we've been feeling in January is not necessarily our own energies. Some of it, yes, but a lot of it has been the whole world's energies. This is about the masculines also getting out of their heads. Yay! Not ascribing to society's demands, society's pressures, agendas. This is about it's about the deprogramming of the masculines, guys. The masculines are being deprogrammed from all of those false timelines, those false agendas, the false propaganda, the false belief systems. They're all crumbling. They're actually showing me they're crumbling, they're falling apart, they're no longer holding any value, guys. This is so beautiful. And they're remembering who they really are and why they're here. Why am I here? So they're reminded of the fact that they could actually move in harmonious union with life. Like they're coming into this inner union. They're coming into union with life itself. And this is your masculine energy within you as well. This is really, really a beautiful energy for the masculines, and that makes me feel really warm and fuzzy inside, because the masculines went through a lot. The masculine energy went through a lot in 2020. So, feminines. Let's move on over to the feminine energy. Salmon. Faith, determination, independence, and change. You're learning how to navigate the choppy waters that we are in right now. Globally. This reminds me of the Piscean energy of upstream or downstream. If you have Piscean energy, you will completely understand this. If you don't, it's basically, are you going to struggle upstream, or are you going to allow yourself and allow life to flow downstream, and just like a nice flowy energy where you don't have to struggle. You just sort of allow, you accept yourself, you accept others as they are, you accept even the world as it is, without getting too involved or too wrapped up in the world events. You allow yourself to just observe. I feel like this is an observing energy. So both twins are in this observing energy, if you notice. But I feel like the masculines are very active right now, very active and integrating, whereas the feminines are a little more, I don't want to say standoffish, but the feminines are rooted in the 3D, but also being asked to have insurmountable faith, insurmountable trust in this journey, and trust that everything, you see, we have the globe here, the world, so trust that everything is actually working out for the good of everyone involved, and that more and more people are going to be waking up as more and more things are coming to the surface, more and more truth is going to be exposed, and the feminines really feeling your independence. I just heard like feeling her independence, like you're feeling yourself right now, moving through tremendous change internally. It may not yet be showing up in the external, but you're feeling it internally before you're going to feel it externally. So it's going to happen within before it happens without. So feminines, there's a little more chaotic energy, I would say, with the feminines versus the masculines right now. But feminines, the more you can root in your faith, the more you can really trust that things are moving exactly as they should be, and that you're masculine, accepting them exactly as they are, that they're exactly where they need to be, the more peace you're going to feel on this journey. So let's end this reading with, there we go, beautiful, a card for the union energy, the union of the divine counterparts. We have the fairy wren. I have pulled this before. Spontaneity, vibrancy, support in the muse. So interesting. What a beautiful bird. Birds are amazing. They are winged messengers. They carry messengers. They also have the ability to really transcend space and time. I mean, you think of what it takes, the amount of energy it takes, and the mechanism it takes for them to be able to take flight. It's incredible to me. It's an incredible energy. And fairy wrens are really an interesting animal, a very unique animal in my opinion. They have this incredible range of song, okay, range of communication, where they have different calls, you know, if they're calling their mate, right? Or they're warning others of impending dangers or doom, or predators that may be around. And they also know how to sing duets with other fairy wrens, right? So it's like you will see a couple and they're singing to each other. They're singing a duet. And they're also saying, hey, this is my territory. Do not step into this territory. I feel strongly that this is union energy of this is my territory, this is my nest, these are my offspring. And I feel like this is really the masculine energy stepping in and saying, you know what, I don't want anyone else touching my divine feminine or being with my divine feminine. So feeling very protective right now, feeling protective of his feminine. And feeling like the masculine is either communicating through song with the feminine right now, or the feminine is hearing messages through song. Or you might be hearing messages through dream state. Okay, I see a lot of telepathy increasing here, increasing more and more, especially if you are still in a form of separation. And you're being asked, okay, the twins are being asked to stay open at this time, to listen to the call of your own soul, the call of your soul. The call in your soul is your twin soul. So the call of your soul, your combined soul, and being open to everything turning around in a moment's time, okay, in an instant, and being open to things transpiring or unfolding in a way in which you never thought possible. It's really about staying open at this time. So there might be some impulsivity here, spontaneity, right? There might be, but there's a vibrancy, there's an aliveness, there's a color to this energy. It's like it's the twins are going to feel more and more alive, and they are going to be communicating more and more heavily with one another as time goes on here in 2021. Everything is going to start to ramp up. So if you haven't received a lot of messages, and there's no mistake that I put this next to the High Priestess, your intuition is increasing. Make sure you're sorting through the illusions, but your intuition is increasing ever more so that you can hear clearly and hear the call of your own soul. Try to let the ego step aside, twins, so that things can unfold the way they need to, not the way you want them to. Trust your intuition and allow life to be a dance. Dance with what is occurring, what is happening, what is transpiring, what is unfolding, rather than trying to control it. This is about releasing control. So I'm going to end this reading there, guys. This was a beautiful reading, and I will likely do another Patreon reading either today or tomorrow. So again, if you want to hop on over to Patreon for bonus content, early access videos, I will be starting to do in February lives over on there. I will be doing Q&As for, again, depending on which tier you choose, there will be Q&As, mini readings, lots of bonus content, and also going deeper into my personal journey, going deeper into my experience on the twin flame journey, and just sharing that with you guys, and being able to have more intimate conversations is what we're really looking for over on Patreon. So I send you guys a lot of love and a lot of comfort at this time. We're growing, we're expanding in more ways than we can even put into words here in the physical. So I send you guys a lot of love, and I'll see you soon with a new video. Take great care. Enjoy your Saturday.